Shalom Israel. First and foremost, I do give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh B'Shem Shabbat Shemukakdash, to born to the apostles and else great mills home teaching says truth, peace, and blessings to the whole collective Israel. Yahweh is the name of the unfallen Hebrew, B'Shem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son. Background lesson has an entitled A Soft Answer Turneth Away Wrath. And going to be going to how holding your tongue could save your life. Which I remember making a lesson a while back. I believe I titled, hold your tongue. It could save your life or something to that effect. But as you get throughout the scriptures, it's a wise thing to, hold your tongue, to keep your mouth shut. Especially to mind your own business. You see, Jake loves to, snoop and have their nose in matters that they shouldn't be involved in, or the case may be. Especially regarding the ninja woman. You know how they are when it comes to various situations. Always want to be at the forefront of it, pretty much. And you see a lot of these situations, they end up getting their man taken out because they want to run their mouth. But you have this video right here I do want to get. And I may play it. It's blurred, but you're going to see this says right here in the background. It says, wine gets walked down after argument. And you can assume, what happened. He ended up getting, taken out. Which I may play a few seconds of it before he shoots, because I don't want to get this video taken down.
What the fuck?
And that's where the shooting takes place. I want to play it, but I don't want to get my video taken down. It's already pre-blurred, but I just want to be careful because I'll go to the latter part of it.
What the fuck?
And you heard the first shot, so you get the idea of what happened. I thought I'd make a lesson going into it. But it's Proverbs 15 and 1 through 2. And you've got various scriptures to further expound on that point of holding your tongue. Keep your mouth shut. This is Proverbs 1 and 2. Or not. It says Proverbs 15, 1 through 2. Now say, a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. And you saw within the caption, it said, wine, walk down after an argument over exactly what was said. It says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. And you see, really, Jake, as a whole, he loves to, be Mr. Tough Guy, especially, dealing with these women also. I've seen various situations where they run their mouth and now their man has to come up and defend them, and how most of those situations end up turning out. But one more time from on top, a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Now you have to deal with that anger, that wrath. This is the tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Proverbs 21 and 23. Now so whoso keepeth his mouth and his tongue keepeth his soul from troubles. You get within the scriptures how this book was written for our foretime, for our learning, our understanding. So we're to apply wisdom. But you see, Jake out here will, obviously not apply, wisdom. That's why you see they get caught in situations like that right there. So also going to show the importance of having this knowledge, this understanding of this word, this truth. To especially avoid situations like that. And if you are faced with confrontation, you know how to avoid it, maneuver around it. Being wise about it. But this is Proverbs 18 and 21. This would be a quick hit through the spirit. Something came to mind when I came across that video. And you see various situations like that where Jake ends up running their mouth, and just people running their mouth in general. And you end up seeing how that situation turns out. They end up getting humbled. People will get involved in situations that has nothing to do with them. Now they end up getting, caught up in this situation, at the forefront of it. Now they're in trouble. This is Proverbs 18:21. Now it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. To especially deal with the consequences of it. As you especially see with the ninja woman. The Israelite woman. You can see various situations where then we're getting their man taken out. Where they end up, getting them in trouble. Because they want to act tough. They want to run their mouth. And once now he has to step in, now he has to defend her. And you see how most of the situations turned out once again. Let's get a few more now. It says Proverbs 17:28. As even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. So there you go. And the script is going to it for a reason, man. Let's see if I missed anything. So that's what I want right there. Get a couple more, and that's the point. This is Proverbs 16:32. That says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. You're having control over your own spirit. You see people let their emotions get the best of them, and you see how various situations turn out, or they let anger get the best of them. And this is one saying or a analogy, where water is boiling and you can't see your reflection, and it's because you're not in your right state of mind. But when that boiling water settles down, you're able to see your face clearly. Let's get that. Let's see. It says you cannot see your reflection of boiling water. Similarly, you cannot see the truth in a state of anger. And you see many people act on, their emotions off anger, and now they end up in trouble. Now they end up, facing with the consequences of their actions, things that they did. Similarly, you cannot see the truth in a state of anger. When the water is calm, clarity comes. That's just plain. Let's read out Proverbs 16:32 one more time. It says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city. Matthew 24:12, and which is further adding to the point of this whole lesson of people, once again, not holding their tongue, running their mouth, acting like a fool. So now you have to deal with the consequences of your actions for, running your mouth, for being, involved in situations that, had nothing to do with you, for not, controlling your emotions. Now you saw within that video we played, it says they got into an argument, and look what ended up happening. When that could have been entirely, avoided, which I'm not sure exactly how everything played out within that situation, but what we're to apply this wisdom to this truth. Matthew 24:12, and says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, especially with the times that we are in. How people are in a more agitated, more aggressive type of spirit, and yet you want to, poke the bear even more. It's not wise. So once to hold your tongue, it could save your life. But you have, Jake wanting to be, Mr. Hero, Mr. Tough Guy. And look what ended up happening. And we're getting taken out, severely hurt. It's just not wise, That's why it goes into the previous scriptures we read. Where it says, even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. And now I got one more script. And that's pretty much the point right there. Just some clicking through the spirit. Matthew 10:16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Or especially, in the midst of the enemy. Esau, Edom. So you get in the description, agree with them who has the power to kill. Agree with that adversary quickly. We're in captivity, so we have to, be wise. And we can, apply wisdom. Especially in situations like we just saw within that video. And you see many other examples like that. Of just, avoiding situations like that. Knowing how to maneuver around it. Being the bigger man. So when you have, Jake in situations like that, end up, fighting, and you see a knife gets pulled or a gun gets pulled, person ends up getting jumped, and, So, apply that wisdom. That's pretty much the point right there once again. Just came across that video, thought I'd make a lesson going into it. And I don't want to play the full thing of that video because, he ended up getting, mowed down in that video. But, it was pre-blurred. It was blurred in the video, but you can, kind of still see what happened. I don't want to get my video struck or anything, but, you get the idea. But you want to close out, give all praise, all honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shem, Shabbat, Shem, Shalom. See you next one, Lord will.